we are going to be speaking about AI and plagiarism in counselling training. Rory, lead us in.
Yes, so this came up as part of a Facebook post in our Facebook group. Somebody's had their assignment rejected because the tutors believe that it's been developed or used by AI, and that is against the academic standards. We want to discuss generally about the difficulty that both students and tutors have regarding plagiarism. And just to be clear, plagiarism is where you're presenting somebody else's work as your own. So you're asked to write 300 words on Freud, and what you do is you go on the internet and you find someone who's done a blog post and you copy and paste it into your assignment and you present that as your own work. That's one form of plagiarism. But another is that you go to the many large language models, sometimes known as AI or ChatGPTs, and you type in, write me 300 words on the work of Freud, and you go and have a cup of tea and you come back and the AI has produced it. You copy and paste that and you present it. Now, the difficulty with normal plagiarism, you've copied and pasted from someone's blog post. We put the assignment through a plagiarism checker, in other words, a program that checks if anything's been copied, and it will highlight it. It will look on the internet overnight and it'll say, this has been drawn from this blog post. With AI, it's very difficult, and it's my understanding, and I may be proved wrong, that there's very few, or there isn't any, AI checkers that can absolutely 100% say it's generated by AI. So there's two conversations here, Ken. One is how we use AI to help with assignment writing, not to write it. And the other is how work is assessed. Is assessing work by assignment a bit 20th century? Are there other ways of assessing work that might be actually better for the learner?
Oh, I like where we're going on this. Before we go there, I wanted to refer to a document. In the United Kingdom, we have the Joint Council for Qualifications, which I will now refer to as the JCQ. And I'm referring to a document of theirs, the second revision, the most up-to-date at the moment of this recording. And it is called AI Use in Assessments, Your Role in Protecting the Integrity of Qualifications. And this is a document that has been made for tutors. And it is in the hands of many tutors that deliver counselling and psychotherapy training. So what this JCQ document guidance requires is the following. It requires that all work submitted by qualification assessment must be the student's own work. Now, there's nothing different there. It has always been that way. You go and you do training, and then you do assignments and you hand them in. It's going to be your own work. So you've spoken about the way of plagiarism before, where you'd find somebody else's paper or article and use that, Rory. Now looking at AI as a way of generating those as well, it can be picked up. If AI-generated content is used, it has to be clearly acknowledged and appropriately referenced. That's an interesting one, and we'll get a little bit deeper onto what that is. So if they're saying you have to do it yourself, but if you use AI, then you've got to reference it. Where's the line here? When do I use AI and where can't I? And I think that what we need to do is, if you're using an AI tool, you want to be treating it as an idea partner, or a very high-level thinking partner, or as a source. So you don't want to be using it for the work itself. You want to be working with your coursework and the textbooks that you've been given. And if you are, so you might say, I want to write about this. Where best would I put this paragraph? And it might help you. A paragraph that you wrote yourself, it might help you where you might put that in and structure it best. Consequences for non-compliance, and you mentioned that there was a post in our Facebook group, and I think we're going to see more and more of this. If your work is judged not to be your own or contains undeclared AI-generated content, it may be flagged as malpractice, and that is the word that is being used at the moment. Malpractice, and that's very interesting, isn't it? That we can be in malpractice while we're still studying. What does it mean for counselling trainees on UK courses? You may use AI tools as a source, for example, to generate the initial ideas or help you think through a topic or to do a draft. So you wouldn't use it to do a draft of the theory, but an outline of what you might be writing. And you must demonstrate in your own voice, your own view of that and theory and practice. And that's the key here, Rory. In counselling training, it's unlike any other training, really, because we're asked to speak about our own journey, how we experienced it, what we took to supervision, what our supervisor said, how that impacted us, how that made us decide to change what we were doing or not change what we were doing, and implement that within our practice. In the beginning of counselling training, you're working on clear theories, like what are Carl Rogers's XYZs, and you'd need to go and look in your textbooks and find that theory and say, look, I know what the theory is. But that's only at the lower levels. As soon as you progress and you're taking this further, you're bringing yourself into it, and you cannot use AI for that. It doesn't know. It cannot replicate your experience and how you felt it. And that's what you're being asked for in those assignments, Rory.
Absolutely. And I think it speaks to two things. One is that AI is relatively new in the academic field. And I think that tutors, I'm sure tutors are doing this, are putting their expectations of how AI is used when they're briefing the class. So I think the first thing is students need to know what is acceptable use of AI, and you've outlined that beautifully, Ken, but also what is not acceptable. So the expectations are set. And also I think that there's lots of ways of assessing work, and sometimes that's not written. It can be an oral testimony, it can be tutor observation, there can be lots of things. So I think as AI comes in and will happily write you an assignment, I think assessment is moving away from that, moving away from all assignment to more creative ways of knowing and understanding what information has sunk in, for want of a better word, into the students. You could actually look at the student, listen to the student or observe the student and get perhaps a better understanding of what they know and how they're going to evidence it.
Yeah. Counselling training assesses you. We've said that it's your voice, it's your reflection, it's your supervisions, it's your insights. AI can't reflect on your personal development or the therapeutic process. It just can't. Case studies, journals, self-reflections must be done authentically by you because it's lived experiences. And if you're using AI too heavily, it flattens your authenticity. And think of AI as a brainstorming buddy. Something you might say to a fellow student on your course, oh, I'm going to be doing my assignment. I'm going to be doing this and this and this. What do you think about it? And use it in that way. And if you are using it, you must reference it. So an example declaration, use ChatGPT on the 2nd of May, 2025 to generate the initial ideas, edited and expanded with my own reflections. Keep any chat logs and keep the URLs from them because they are shareable and you can share them with a tutor if they do asks for that.